All right, ladies and gentlemen, I want to welcome y'all to another episode of the Day Late Dollar Short podcast. As always, I am with my partners in crime, the
Marlon.
effervescent. There he is.
Yeah.
MBK.
All right, yeah. Look, so it's been an interesting night. We had some programming changes that we're not going to discuss just yet, but we're working on it for y'all. So,
Oh
what
boy.
we are going to talk about is the recent spate of, just general police brutality, people getting away with shit they shouldn't get away with, and just how the world treats African Americans in general. So the first topic of the night is Ahmaud Arbery, the 25-year-old black man who was jogging in Georgia. He was a known jogger in the area. His family, his friends, other people, he was, a former athlete, so on and so forth. So this was a known occurrence. This was a thing he did. And he was pursued by two white men and subsequently murdered. So it's really one of those situations where it's really tired because like this shit happens again.
It's like we're back in 1965.
Right. It's not even 1965 because it's like, 1965, like, that it's racist. Like, that's what it is. Like, people were getting lynched and Jim Crow and all of these different things and the civil rights movement and, in that particular period of time, 60 some years ago. So now, it's 2020. Like, we got COVID, we got murder wasps or murder hornets or whatever the fuck they are. We got enough shit going on, like financial inequality, classism, redlining, all of those things. Now we got to worry about white people deciding, hey, I'm going to take the law into my own hands. And subsequently...
Well, we've always had to worry about that. We just putting COVID and stuff on top of it.
Right.
The sad part about it, like we can't even quarantine and mind our business in peace.
Right. And it's one of those situations because the backstory to it is the two gentlemen, one of them was a former investigator for the district attorney's office. And to set up the story, there were break-ins that happened in the area. And it was said that he was spotted looking at a house that was under construction. Now, I don't know about y'all, but I'm guilty of doing something like that. Like I've been in at one point or another said, maybe I might be interested in buying a house. I don't know. And I see a house that's under construction and I've actually stopped and looked and like, wow, this is kind of dope. And maybe looked at who the company was, see if they had like a flyer or some shit or something like that. Because a lot of times, the realtor company, they'll have like a little box where you can put flyers or whatever, different things like that. So you don't know what all that was reported was a lot of people called 911 and said, oh, there's a black guy looking at a house under construction. And then he goes about his merry way jogging, which is what he does apparently. And then these two gentlemen, they pursue him. And if you've seen the video, you'll see in the video, they were ahead of him. They stopped him. Well, he was trying to pass around them.
He was trying to go around.
He was trying to go around.
Looking for confrontation. He was trying to go around.
Right. And then they confronted him. And I don't know about y'all, but I'm not about to let some random ass people detain me that I don't fucking know.
You're not about to talk to me
you
about
no kind of fucking
like
way.
I don't know.
I don't fucking know you.
You have a shotgun in the middle of the road. I don't know what you're trying to ask me. I don't know what the fuck is going on. I'm not about to have a conversation with you.
Right. And so there was a confrontation. They were fighting over the gun, and he was shot. They said they shot him twice. The shotgun was actually fired 3 times. Right. And then you see Ahmaud fall into the street and subsequently died.
Yeah, third shot was the one that got him.
Yeah, I mean, and here's the thing: it don't take much with a shotgun because depending on what type of shells you have, that shit'll spread.
And it was close range, so it wasn't even like it
Yeah,
was far.
right. So it's one of those crazy situations because we look at situations like Alton Sterling, Tamir Rice, Trayvon Martin, Philando Castile. Like you can't exist. Like it's difficult to exist in these spaces because you're black, and it's like it's such a thing that it's hard to comprehend. Like where is safe to exist, because you have police that unfairly discriminate and patrol your neighborhoods, and then maybe you don't live in the quote unquote those neighborhoods. Maybe you move into a different neighborhood, or maybe you like to go run. I mean, people go run in the Garden District in New Orleans all the time and don't fucking live there. And maybe you don't live in that neighborhood, but because you're running while black, you're jogging while black, you may die.
Just take me to Wakanda,
bruh. Like Wakanda cool and all. New Zealand sound really good right about
now.
Nah, I need to be around my own kind.
That's fine. Go to Wakanda. There's all black people in Wakanda.
Well, yeah. I mean, Wakanda would be nice, but Wakanda not real. I mean, Durban, South Africa.
I'm about to say there's several places in Africa that's like
real nice.
The fucking bomb.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, my homeboy came back from Africa not too long ago, telling me about it. Conversion rate is like $18 to every one of our dollars. You go over there and live real good. But
no, it is sad, man. Like, I'm just at a loss of. You already knew what their intent was to do. Like, even when they saw him, like, oh, we're gonna shoot him. Like, you already knew it was gonna happen. It's like it just sucks to where we are.
I don't think their intent was to kill him, but I think
it was premeditated.
I don't think the intent was to kill him. I just think they were okay with it if it happened.
No, it was the intent to kill them. Why would you go with 2 shotguns? You're intending
they said they said
I don't care what
were.
They said. They were intending to use it. They lied.
No. But that's what I'm saying. Like they say they were going to detain him, but they were entirely okay with using deadly force.
This is gonna play out just like the Trayvon Martin's case. What's gonna happen is they're gonna say, "Oh, we had a string of robberies in the neighborhood. Mm-hmm. He fit the description. Mm-hmm. We tried to talk to him and do a citizen's arrest. Mm-hmm. He got violent. He grabbed my weapon. I felt afraid, so I shot him."
So yeah, matter of fact, actually, they did say they were use their standing ground law in this case.
Yeah, that's what they're gonna do.
But I think it's different now because we have actual evidence of them
they're the aggressors.
Right, you can tell in that video.
Once he grabbed, but in a court of law, because the same thing happened with Trayvon Martin. Yes, they initially were the aggressors, but once he grabbed the weapon, they're gonna say he became the aggressor, which gave them means to shoot him. So, because Trayvon Martin was fighting with this grown man. Right. When he had the upper hand, he then became the aggressor, even though he was a child, which is how George Zimmerman got away with murdering him. Oh, he got on top of me. I was scared. I shot him.
Will it be different now, though, with actual, like, hard evidence, like video evidence? Because the Trayvon Martin case. I mean, well, it was in February. We're in May. I mean, yeah, it's a long time, but I mean, it's still kind of recent. So that's why I think there's a better chance of them actually being convicted because there's video proof of them being aggressive and shooting. Well, Trayvon Martin, there's no video. Like it was it was dark.
But you had a recording. You had a recording that you can hear what was going on. You had witnesses. So they're gonna find a way around it because if you ask me, they can say, well, the video isn't clear because there's one scene in the video where it goes. You don't really see the whole thing. That's what they're going to use because there was a blind spot in the video. Mm-hmm. But no, arresting them, yeah, whatever. I see a lot of people excited about it, posting about it. I'm not excited until I get a conviction because we all know how this is going to play out.
Right, because I mean, it's a lot. It's very similar to in my mind, like Botham Jean in Dallas, where, you know, clearly this woman was in the wrong and a conviction happening was still in question.
Well, this one to me is a little different because at least he was in his house. Like,
I know, but that's what I'm saying. Like, even in that situation where he was in no way in the wrong, we still questioned if there was going to be a conviction. Like, when all the evidence point to he didn't do anything wrong, we still questioned if she was going to be convicted.
And you know what? Even if he was a thief, even if he was a robber, who gives you the right to take matters into your own hands?
Right, like you're not law enforcement. So
you're not a police officer. All you can say is, I think the guy who's been robbing our neighborhood is out here jogging now. Come get his ass. I see him. You don't have the right to take matters into your own hands. Because the last thing they want is for niggas to start taking matters into their own hands.
And you know what?
At this rate, so
then it's really
that's what's gonna have to happen. Like,
because if George Zimmerman would have been taken care of like he was supposed to have been, then maybe there would have been a little more fear in their heart to think twice about gunning down an innocent person. Just maybe. Because he still shouldn't be walking the street. I'm still trying to figure this out. How?
Yeah, I'm confused how you still alive. I ain't gonna lie.
How
yeah,
are
that's
you still able to walk around?
And then you like once he sued somebody, something like that.
Then you're arrogant as fuck about it. Then you're suing this boy's parents as if you didn't murder their child.
And lied about it too.
And you still are able to walk past niggas on a daily. It's mind blowing to me.
So where we live in, the social injustice.
What a Black Panther Party when I need them. The
OG Black Panther Party?
The real Black Panther Party.
Probably dead and gone.
Like that, and that's the problem in the Black community too. We have to start policing ourselves.
Right.
Taking care of our own.
And I think, you know, when we say policing ourselves, like, white people turn on themselves in a heartbeat if it's for self-preservation. And we've seen it. White people throw somebody under the bus in a heartbeat. You know, we have this mentality of like, don't snitch. And like, that doesn't do us any justice. Like, that keeps people in your community who do you harm.
No, and that's what I'm saying. That's why I feel like we need to, in terms of policing our own. Back then in LA, what the Black Panther Party would do, if you had an issue with somebody, no, they wasn't running into the police. They wasn't running LAPD. This is who we having an issue with? Okay, say less. We're going to go handle the situation.
Right.
And not saying that they killed somebody, but they took care of it.
They resolved it in one way or another.
Right. We don't tolerate this in our community. We're going to tell you not to do it again, or other actions will be taken if you do it again.
Right.
Then that was it. Because they knew, look, I'm not going to fuck with these niggas. They walk around with rifles. I'm going to listen to them. The government couldn't take that. They couldn't handle Black people policing themselves, doing for themselves, caring and feeding each other. It was too much power. They couldn't control that. So they had to infiltrate it.
Right. So, you know, it's just, I think we all feel like that in spite of there being video evidence of Ahmaud being shot, in spite of there being a clear sign that they pursued him, you know, we don't have faith in the justice system to do their job.
Yep.
I mean, I don't personally believe that they're gonna go above and beyond to get this conviction. And like you said, Brooklyn, like there are a number of different factors and loopholes that they can use to allow these guys that killed him to walk free. So it's a crazy situation. I mean, don't get me wrong. And then the reality was, it took for this video being leaked
Right, to put a video to be leaked.
Like, because they've had the video for a while now. Like, this video is not new. Like, this didn't just come out. The video was leaked from evidence, and it took that happening for them to actually be arrested. Which is
exactly. If the video was never leaked, there would have never been an arrest.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, because they kept putting it off.
Or a social outrage.
Oh, yeah.
Because everybody went crazy. That's why, like, they knew they had to do something. They couldn't be quiet about it.
Yeah, I mean, because
we gotta do something. We gotta shut the niggas up. So let's just go ahead on and arrest them.
I mean, because an arrest doesn't mean shit. Because they're gonna arrest them. They're gonna put them in a cell by themselves, away from everybody.
They're gonna probably get a bond.
Yeah, they're gonna bond out, and that's gonna be that. And they're gonna be back at home. So that arrest don't mean shit.
Right, they're gonna be back at home. If they go to trial, waiting trial. They're not gonna get it like niggas where you have to sit in jail to wait for your trial.
Right.
No.
Right. So it's just
stand by for the most part. I mean, you got arrested. I mean, that's all that's going on right now at this point.
It's hard to have faith in a system that doesn't work for you.
Yeah,
it wasn't built for us.
Right.
So I can't have faith in something that wasn't created for me.
Right. Right. So speaking of systems and situations, you know, now we have another situation with Sean Reed. And Sean Reed was a military veteran. He was another young black man who was shot and killed by police. And so this was in Indianapolis. And Sean was driving his vehicle and was in a high-speed chase, to which eventually, I think they say he was going about 90 miles an hour, and the police broke off the chase because it was a danger to the public. And then what followed was the police came across him again, and an unmarked police car came across him, followed him, radioed for additional units to show up. The additional units showed up, and then they pursued him. And then at that time, he exited his vehicle. He was on Facebook Live at the time to over, almost 4,000 people. He had like 4,000 people on Facebook Live. And he was streaming the encounter the whole time. And he was telling people to come get him on Facebook Live, which was like, it was weird. And
yeah, when I watched it, he just seemed like, I was like, damn, this nigga high.
Yeah, like something wrong. Like, I don't know if he was high or like something.
He had a mental, right. He wasn't in his right state of mind.
Oh, not at all. Not at all. And, he's running from the police. They tase him. The taser didn't work. And then they proceed to unload on him. And then following him being shot down, you hear the police officer make the remark that he's going to need a closed casket funeral. And then you hear them proceed to talk amongst themselves to try to get their story together. It's just one of those situations where, like you said, we don't have faith. The system wasn't made for us. Law enforcement clearly doesn't have the ability, the training to handle anyone with any potential mental health issues. Their default is shoot first, shoot last, and if they're black, it doesn't matter.
We were scared.
Right. Like, what are you scared of? You got body armor, you got a firearm, you got
a bulletproof vest.
Yeah.
He's running away.
He's running away from you.
Opposite direction.
Like, what do you have to be afraid of from somebody running away from you?
And even if you are afraid, then I hate to break the news to you.
You shouldn't be a cop.
Officer is not
That's not your calling.
If you're scary, you don't need to be a cop. There's a lot of other things you can do. But if you scare easily, or if you're scared of black people, don't be a police officer or don't police black neighborhoods. Mm-hmm. Period. Go work at a bank. Be a security at a bank. Go be security at the golf club.
Right.
You cannot patrol an area where you're not culturally invested or culturally aware of. it's not going to work because you don't understand.
Mm-hmm.
I can't name not one, maybe one. I can't name now more than one good police officer that I have ever met. Not one.
I can name a few.
I say a good police officer in the sense of not saying, oh, he don't beat black people or they're pretty fair, but in the sense of, no, if you see your brother in blue or your sister in blue doing some shit she don't have no business doing, standing up for saying, look, we shouldn't be doing it. Like, that's not cool. Don't turn the cheek and think that you're this great police officer because you're feeding into the problem.
Right.
Yeah. I don't know. Oh, I don't understand.
If there's any gang to be afraid of, it's the police department.
Oh, yeah.
You can talk about the Bloods, you can talk about the Crips, you can talk about whatever gang you want to talk about. But one gang that never, ever get punishment for their crimes is the police department.
Mm-hmm.
At least you fucking know not to wear red around a Crip. But you unfortunately can't wear black skin around a cop.
Clearly.
I mean, like, that badge is more a sign of the gang than anything else.
Yeah. And they have all the power, too.
Yeah, they get away with it because they defend them.
Yeah.
Yeah, they defend each other. They lie for one another. I was watching a documentary, Innocence Files, on Netflix, and LAPD at the time in the 80s and the 90s, probably still do. They had a gang inside of LAPD. They called themselves the Ravens, and they were like part of this gang unit. Mm-hmm. And they basically bullied this black kid into saying that this Hispanic child, another child, murdered somebody, and it was completely false.
Yeah. Well, we know the
so
police.
This is what you're up against. Not only are they killing us, but
they forcing us against each other.
Arresting us. Think about how many innocent black and brown people are incarcerated due to bad policing, police officers not doing their job properly.
Well, we know when you look at the the Central Park 5, like, police for years have used intimidation, lying, and outright despicable tactics.
And that's my point. We've seen all of these things. So where are those so-called good cops? Where are those so-called good cops that see the shit? When are y'all gonna come together and say, look, enough is enough. You making me look bad.
Mm-hmm.
You're the reason why I can't go into this neighborhood and build a relationship with these people, because they see the shit you do, so they don't trust me.
Yeah.
It's like a cycle, and nobody's willing to break it. Nobody's standing up and saying, look, we need to worry about this. This is the main issue. We have a policing issue. If we had relationships with officers, we wouldn't have crime rates the way we have them now, because police officers will actually be, instead of hanging out in the French Quarter, they will really be in these places that have high crime, policing them, working with the community.
I mean, because I'm tired of seeing police dance at fucking parades.
Yeah.
Like, I've seen more police, just growing up, like, I saw more police dancing at parades than I ever saw in my neighborhood. And, like, I knew who the drug dealers were in my neighborhood. Everybody did. Like, you knew who they were. Like, it wasn't rocket science. And, like, I knew who they were growing up. And I knew to avoid them because that wasn't me. But it's like, you didn't see police there. Police ain't come out to the east.
Right.
Police ain't, the police in the east, they ain't like, if it wasn't fucking with them, they wasn't fucking with you.
They wasn't fucking with it, right? We minding our business, y'all just mind y'all.
Like, police was just collecting a check.
Right.
And I'm like, if you want to just collect a check, man, there's a lot of stuff you can do that don't get you shot that you could just collect a check on.
Exactly. There is no proper policing. And I've said this several times, and I've told former police officers, there needs to be protocol on policing within the department. Mm-hmm. You need proper protocol, like protect those good officers that's going to say, look, this is not right what you're doing. Mm-hmm. There need proper protocol on how to engage with a person that has mental health issues. You need to know how to identify that person. That person may not just be acting belligerent or
right
out of line because they want to. They can be having a mental breakdown.
Right.
You need to know how you're culturally aware to the area you're going to teach in, to where you're going to police in. And I've said they need some type of cultural class being taught at the academy.
Right.
Even
they need better ways of handling people. Like, I mean, even like sitting on people's neck, like that's ridiculous.
I mean, the whole culture class sounds good in theory, but they probably just say the right things to pass and do what they want to do once they got their badge and their gun. So I don't think culture class will do anything.
You know how you're going to find out? We're going to find out. Not by how you police.
Yeah, I mean, I understand what you're saying. Like, as far as like addressing it early.
That's like saying we're going to school for a degree and I'm not paying attention in class and I can still get my degree. It's work and show up to my job. You're going to know Brooklyn ain't pay attention in her fucking classes. So there's ways to it.
Yeah, I mean,
but they have to want those ways and they don't.
Yeah, and I think part of it is, and I will say this in a sense that when I look at police, they're for the ones that may be good, that may be trying to protect themselves in it, they're not supported. They're underfunded. They don't have the resources. They don't have the training. And you have these bad cops or these cops that are willing to cut corners and break rules and do these things. They're able to take advantage of the system because, hey, they don't have the oversight. They know they don't have the oversight. So they can do it. Whereas the cops who would be the ones that would blow the whistle or would hold people accountable, guess what? They're equally as vulnerable.
Right, and that's why I said they should have some type of protocol set up for those police officers. So you have situations like that, you shouldn't have investigation.
They have whistleblower protection
for bad policing. Don't put.
What I think
there's ways to improve it.
Well, no, and I agree with you. Like, there's whistleblower protection, there's internal affairs, but that's still part of the police. And that's the thing. Like, I think if you're really going to do this in a sense where... That's what I'm saying.
Like, I don't trust IA...
It shouldn't be part of the police. It shouldn't be...
Right, that's why I said you should have outside investigators.
Right. It should be completely third party, not law enforcement, not former law enforcement. It should be people that are completely separate from it. And that's what it should be. And in an ideal world, that's what it would be. But we know that's not what it is.
Right, because we don't have nobody that's going to stand up and say, we need to revamp this. It's not affecting them the way it's affecting us. So nobody else really cares.
Right.
I hate it here.
Well, I mean, don't hate it here. But, if you hate it here, there's somewhere else.
I'm just saying, like, even going outside, like, your house is a risk. You know? Yeah. It's like, it's just, I don't know, man. Nowhere is safe.
Well, nowhere, especially for Black and brown boys. Like, it's not safe.
Yeah, I mean, nowhere is going to be safe when the people that are in power don't look like us and don't have our best interests at heart. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, there was someone that talked about how Joe Biden came out and spoke in support of Ahmaud's killers being arrested and so on and so forth. And someone said, yeah, Uncle Joe, keep on pandering because we know that's what you're doing. And let's be real. Joe Biden and his son Hunter, they've never been in a situation like what we in. Joe's a career politician. I want to say Joe been in politics his entire life. I think military and in politics. And Hunter has reaped the benefits. And, you know, that's a situation. Like a lot of people, you know, what you gonna do? You know Trump ain't never been in a situation like we've been in. And neither has his kids. So, you know, it's like it's just one of those situations until the people that represent us look like us consistently, it's never gonna happen.
Yeah. But Uncle Joe trying to get those votes still, huh? Trying to lie by now.
Oh yeah. Oh look, you know, Joe trying to get them votes. He trying to get the black vote real hard. You know, and that's what I mean. And honestly, that's what you got to do. You know, Trump ain't about to do it. You know, Trump ain't about to. He ain't about to shuck and jive for nobody.
He ain't say nothing yet about this.
Oh no, he ain't said nothing at all. I mean, Trump trying to get the economy to reopen. Trump supporting racists and Klans members and all this shit that's marching on state capitals to open things back up to people. So, you know, that's what he's doing.
Like, I probably thought maybe he would say something. That's what he does, but he hasn't. I mean, he's just a Twitter troller. He's constantly Twitter trolling. So I thought he would maybe make one little statement or something like that, but now he didn't. So I'm like, it sounds about right.
That's not his cup of tea.
Yeah, like Trump's. That's not something he's gonna speak on, because the minute he speaks on that, like he's alienating his base and his core. His base and his core are conservative, racist white people. Those people who say I have a black friend, or my grandchild is black because their child had an interracial baby, or you know something like that. Like, oh, I'm not racist. You know, I believe all lives matter, but you know. You can't get no love for the black men that's getting killed right now.
Yep.
So it's just he's not gonna say nothing because that would deviate from who he is. Like you can set a clock by Trump.
And I wouldn't want him to say anything because when he have to say it wouldn't be in it wouldn't, and not even that, it wouldn't be anything in regards to the man who was killed. It wouldn't be like, oh, it would probably be like, you know, they had a right to bear arms. It'd probably be some dumb shit like that. Like it wouldn't be no apologies to his family. It would just be like, they had the right to bear arms. They thought it would be an excuse for them. It would he still haven't apologized.
It would be another opportunity for him to say how much he's done for the black community.
When DNA has clearly, not only DNA, but also a confession has cleared these men, and he's still to this day saying he raped that lady.
Yes.
Like so.
So
damn.
Yeah, that's what it is. But we're gonna take a quick break real quick. And then we'll be back in just a moment. So y'all enjoy. And we'll be right back.